In this video, we are going to learn when to use monolithic architectures. Even monolithic architecture has lots of disadvantages. If you are building small application, still monolithic architecture is one of the best architecture that you can apply for your projects. Because in many ways, monolithic applications are straightforward. For example, they are straightforward to build, test, deploy, troubleshooting, scale vertically, which means scale up is very easy and fast. So it is simple to develop relative to microservices, where skilled developers are required in order to identify and develop the services. It is easier to deploy as only a single jar or WAR file is deployed. So when to use monolithic architecture? The first reason is small team at founding stage. If you are a startup and your team is small, like 2 or 5 people, you don't need to deal with the complexity of the microservice architecture. A monolithic can meet all your business requirements and provide to focus on your business instead of the technology choices. So there is no emergency to follow the hype and start with high overloaded microservice architectures. And the second type is simple application with predictable scale and complexity. If you are develop a simple application which isn't include complex business logics and isn't required superior scalability and flexibility features, then it is good to work with the monolithic architectures. So that means if your application doesn't require advanced scalability and the complexity is manageable, then a monolithic architecture is the best option to start. Another case is proof of concept and quick launch. If you are building a proof of concept, like testing a new idea on the market, that means your new product will pivot and evolve a lot over time when you figure out what will be useful to your users. Also, this will provide to launch your application as soon as possible. Monolithic architecture works well when you don't want to spend so much time at initially and validate your business idea. For that reason, a monolithic is good fit that allows for rapid production iteration. By this way, you can test your idea and decide to pivot or end up with the project very fast. And another use case is no microservices expertise. If your team has no prior experience with microservice architecture, that will really hard to ship your application effectively and timely. Because microservices require profound expertise to work well and bring business value. If you want to start a microservice application from scratch with no technical expertise on it, most probably you will end up with fail or stuck at some point with spending lots of resource and time. For example, let's see our example of e-commerce application for requests per second and acceptable latency. If you don't need to expect hundreds of requests, we can scale it vertically, which is a scaling up. That means upgrading existing server. By this way, we can avoid the problems of network latency and security are relatively less if we compare with the microservice architecture. Please see the table. As you can see the table, we will start a small e-commerce application that gets only 2000 concurrent users and gets 500 requests per second. If you don't expect any growth of your customer base, so we should pick the monolithic architecture. Even we expect growth of users to 500k or millions of users, it is good to start simple and evolve step by step. So this is what we are going to do in this course. We will start simple and evolve architecture step by step according to incoming request. As you can see that we have understood that when to use monolithic architectures.